Good morning. I'm going to try and make this quick because I am at work and I'm on a bathroom break. And I want to ask you guys to bear with me because it's going to seem like roundabout discussion, but there is a method to this madness, and I have notes so I remember to cover everything. And I may pause when somebody walks by because I still hate doing things like this in front of people. So anyways, it's Monday, it's a new week, and I want to encourage you guys to start it off on a positive note. So bear with me. If you tend to be a negative Nelly, this may not initially resonate with you, but I want you to bear with me. So in yoga, we talk a lot about being present in the here and the now, and some people really feel like they don't understand that. They don't feel like that is attainable for them. They want like practical tools and tips for it. And Eckhart Tolle, or I guess that's how you say his name, I'm not sure, wrote a really great book called The Power of Now. I think that's what it's called. And he wrote in his introduction something that he said to himself one time. He was talking about like living with depression and anxiety, and he woke up in anxiety in the middle of the night one night, something that totally resonated with me because I have been woken up in the middle of the night from a dead sleep, just feeling anxious. It's been many, many years since that's happened. I have had a few bouts of it since Callista's been born, but I think that's just kind of being a parent. But anyways, he woke up and he said to himself, I can't live with myself anymore. But then he like had this profound moment where he's like, wait a minute. Who is the I that can't live with the myself? So it's almost as if he's two people. He is the I and the self. Like, who is this person, the I, that can't live with the other person who is myself? So it was a really profound moment, and it just brought me back to a time in my life where I was coming out of a toxic relationship. I was severely depressed, drinking way too much because I was using alcohol to kind of like, I don't know, mask whatever I was feeling. And I thought that I felt better when I was drinking. I felt like a different person when I was drunk, like I could be this person that I wanted to be. And it just made me even crazier. And the guy that I was dating at the time had broken up with me, and I went crazy, and I was crazy depressed because of it. And I drank a lot. I laid on the couch and was just depressed. And I was watching Oprah one day, and Elizabeth Gilbert was promoting her book, Eat, Pray, Love. And there was nothing particularly profound for me about Elizabeth's story or her book, especially looking back in hindsight. But in that moment, I felt like she was telling my life story, even though they're absolutely nothing alike. But something spoke to me in that moment. I got up, I got the book, and I read it cover to cover. Excuse me while I change my notes here. And it changed my life. And since then, I have been on this journey to help other people. And that is how Step Onto My Mat Wellness has come about. That's how I became a yoga instructor and a fitness instructor. So I want to use my story to help you guys. And I'm starting with that today. So first of all, I want to start off with, I'm not a perfect person. I fail every single day, just like you, just like everybody else. But I do keep myself accountable for my failures and my mistakes, and I own up to it. And I feel like that's something that so many people lack. And even though I feel like a failure because I have failed, I get up the next day and I try all over again. And I try to do better than I was the day before. Some days I feel like I have my shit together, and other days I don't, and life waxes and wanes like that, and it's completely normal, but I still tried nonetheless. Because the thing is that like you have your shit and I have my shit, and the shit that you're dealing with may be different from what I'm dealing with, and in my life, what you're dealing with may seem menial and nothing, and vice versa, but we all have something, and we are not put on this earth to judge each other's shit and each other's something, because what is hard for you may not be hard for me, but it's hard nonetheless. Anyways, but it's up to us to create our own lives. So it's up to us to decide how we're going to feel and how we're going to react to the shit that we deal with every day. It's up to us to not judge other people for how they handle their shit, because you don't know how somebody's feeling. You don't know what they're dealing with. It's hard not to judge, honestly. Like, I struggle with it every day. It's one of the big things I fail at every day. But the fact of the matter is, we all have to choose how we're going to deal with it. We all have to choose to be happy, to be grateful, regardless of what's happened to us in the past, regardless of what's happening to us right now. The only way we can seek joy and fulfillment and happiness in our lives is to choose it. You can choose to be negative or you can choose to be happy. And sometimes it doesn't feel like we have that choice, but I promise you, we really do have that choice. And it's not going to be easy every day. It may not be something that you can do every day. Some days you may just be like, fuck it, and I'm just going to choose to be negative today. But the point is, the next day, you get that choice again, and you can wake up that next day, and you can say, okay, today is going to be the day I choose happiness. One of the biggest things that we struggle with in choosing our happiness and our joy is that a lot of times we do things where we seek happiness through other people's perception of us. So we seek that job title or that college degree or that social status just so other people can view us a certain way. And if we don't get that, we don't feel happy, we don't feel fulfilled. You got to stop doing that, because you can't make other people perceive you the way you want them to perceive you. People perceive you from where they are in their own lives. And if they're in a shitty place, they're not going to perceive you and your happy life in a good way. It's not going to happen that way. The way we perceive other people and the way other people perceive us is 100% based on our confidence, our happiness, our joy, our gratitude, and where we are in our own lives. So if it's that way for you, it's the same way for them. You cannot seek, your happiness through other people and their perception of you. You will find your happiness in your life. I wrote this down, not because of where you are, whether it's where you are in your life, where you are living, where you are in your career. It's not going to be, you're not going to find your happiness because of what you have, the house, the car, the job, the certain amount of dollars in your bank account. You will find happiness because of who you are in your heart, in here. When you are true, when you're coming from a true place, when you're coming from love, when you are seeking to expand love and give love, when you truly want happiness in your life, that is when you're going to find it. And it's all because of the choices that you make. And one practical thing that I can tell you to do, and I know this is going to sound hokey to a lot of you, and I'm going to be bringing it back, is a regular gratitude practice. So for many, many years, probably 5+ years, I've done a daily gratitude check, and I use the hashtag gratitude check. And I just list things that day that I'm grateful for. It's the first thing I do of the day. I post it on social media, and I start my day living in gratitude. Sometimes I'm just grateful for coffee. Sometimes I'm just grateful to be living on a lake. Sometimes I'm grateful for my family. But whatever, I wake up and I start my day with gratitude. And none of it is something that's going to happen overnight. Like the rest of life is all a practice. It's learning and failing and learning, but the point is to just be willing. Sometimes you may wake up and be like, gratitude, fuck gratitude. But still list your gratitude, because it will change your mindset. And it may not change it right away, but it's a practice. Just like yoga is a practice, fitness is a practice, eating healthy is a practice, marriage, all of it. So start your day with gratitude.